Message that India's IT services industry wants to send out, which is loud and clear that it's alive and kicking and ready to take on the AI challenge. Joining me now at the HCLTech Pavilion is the man steering the company, CVK. Always good to have you here with us. And let me start by asking you exactly that, CVK. February has been a difficult month for the IT services sector, 2.6 lakh crore rupees in market cap erosion since the 6th of February. What is the message that you want to send out to the markets? Is the SaaSpocalypse real?
Shereen, thank you for visiting us here in the AI Summit. It's fantastic. If you recollect, 2 years ago, we did call out as a company that AI is a big disruption moment and we want to embrace it proactively, right? So none of this surprises us. We looked at how the technology would evolve and really started building a strategy which will future-proof our business. It's about proactively transforming our services as well as building intellectual property which bridges the gap between all the LLMs and reasoning models to how it can be applied in the enterprise world. So the technology is moving very fast, you've seen it, but the enterprise adoption is gradual and it is rightfully so. Actually, if I want to use an analogy, God created the world in 7 days because there was no installed base. Right? If there was nothing installed, you don't need to worry about compatibility issues. You don't have to worry about data migration and integrations, all of that, right? And there's no bugs to fix. So it's very easy. But in a real world, in a real enterprise, there are so many complex installed systems.
It's not as easy as plug and play.
It's not, absolutely, it's not. And that's where service providers like us, we have a lot of trust with a lot of big enterprises and we have the context of the enterprise. So along with the large language models and all the reasoning and all of that, and using our IPs, which are all focused on capturing the enterprise knowledge and building a delivery model which will really scale as impressively as how the models and the technology is scaling. That's what we're doing.
No, and you're right that you called this out 2 years ago and we've spoken about this and your pivot towards a more AI-driven future. But CVK, let's build out the scenarios now. And I want to understand from you, we spoke about this in Davos. Let's start by talking about margins. What should we realistically expect in terms of margins? As the model changes, as billing becomes more outcome-based, as revenue becomes more outcome-based, what should we expect then for margins in the medium to long term?
Of course, the drive is to move towards more outcome-based models. And typically, an outcome-based engagement can deliver a much higher margin because it really helps you to leverage all the technology levers and optimization levers, and it helps you to improve margins.
So you're saying margins can actually improve as opposed to the fear of compression?
Yes, of course. It should improve because there is a big opportunity to convert as much as possible to outcomes. And when you do an outcome-based model, there is a little higher risk, but there is higher reward as well. So if we can play that equation well, I think there is a potential for the margins to improve.
So how much of the business is now moving towards this outcome-based model as you speak?
Today, we have more than 50% of our business is already in some kind of outcome model. But eventually, it's going to move to an ultimate business outcome-based models. So I think we'll move 3 to 4%. We want to move a lot of our large engagements into more outcome-based models. And that also gives us a lot of flexibility in the talent deployment, where we deploy, what technology we use. And that kind of we take on a lot of responsibility, and that's how we will get rewarded as well.
The other question then, CVK, is being asked, what happens to growth in the medium to long term? Are we talking about sustained low single-digit growth? Are we talking about slightly better? Or are we talking about no growth at all for the industry?
Yeah, okay. First of all, I mean, we've been the fastest growing company for probably the 4th year in the running. So there is going to be deflation in the existing business, especially a lot of application development kind of business. And we do have a meaningful chunk of applications business, while a lot of our business is in engineering services or software or infrastructure services. We do have some components which can have a much higher deflation potential. So we believe there will be 2 to 3% deflation at an overall level because of AI. And this is something we've modeled. But there are at least 5 mega opportunities that we are chasing, right? AI factory, it's $1 trillion capex will mean at least $100 billion of services spent, and at least a couple of $1 billion we should be able to get from that. Physical AI is again another big opportunity. The whole agentic implementation. See, there is a huge legacy install base. Modernization of this is again a big opportunity. And for modernization, you just need to be in the enterprise. You just need to understand the each enterprise's uniqueness. And we are very well placed to adapt to that. And so that's why we've called out advanced AI revenue, which is really focusing on the newer revenue streams. While our existing business will continue to grow because there is still a big market, right? IT services is a $1.5 trillion market. I mean, we are 15 billion, our industry is only 200, 300 billion. So there is still, if you have a very sharp proposition which can make an impact, you can gain a lot more wallet share. And that's been our strategy as well.
You know, you had given me a number as far as your advanced AI revenue is, and where you see that on the back of what you're seeing now, since we last spoke, which has barely been a month and a half, but there's so much that's already changed. I mean, on track to be able to deliver to that number?
Absolutely. We had called out about $600 million annualized revenues, advanced AI. And once again, this is different from regular AI revenue a lot of companies are talking about, because regular across the board, we need to use AI to change everything that we are doing. And that we don't call out as AI revenue. It's the IPs, it's the new solutions. That's what we are calling out. And I think it's 4%, and I think it can be a very powerful growth driver. It has grown 20% quarter on quarter. And we think it can get to $2.5–3 billion, much more than offsetting some of the decline that can happen in the existing business. And existing business also, there is a big market still. And if you have a sharper proposition, a platform-based agentic IT services delivery model, I think there is an opportunity to gain a lot more wallet share.
You know, speaking of the road ahead, we've seen a bunch of partnerships being inked this morning. Infosys and Anthropic announcing their partnership. You've got a partnership with OpenAI. Are we going to see a lot more of this, of Indian IT services companies like yours building or forging more partnerships? And take us through the OpenAI partnership.
We were the first to announce the OpenAI partnership. It's already a lot of our products that we're building is on top of OpenAI. And I'm sure, Anthropic is again a fantastic technology, and we will continue to look at partnership opportunities and evolve. And it's very much like the hyperscaler ecosystem, where we had to leverage the hyperscaler technologies to deliver services to our clients. And it's going to be the same playbook again.
Will Indian IT services be a lot more acquisitive? Will you be forced to be a lot more acquisitive in this environment?
Acquisition, yes, but more than acquisition, it's really bringing the best AI talent into the company, right? I think whether we can acquire it, whether we can hire, we also need a very strong product and a platform mindset, which is not the traditional bread and butter of the services companies. So I think that is the transition all of us will have to navigate, and we are well in the way.
Well, speaking of transitions, I know the big bet that you're making on physical AI, something that you're a big believer in, but also the AI full stack, what HCL is working on and has put together. We've got one of your dogs that are walking around the pavilion here. So how big of an opportunity is this going to be?
Physical AI is a $1 trillion opportunity. I think he's saying yes.
He is saying yes.
So the reality is physical AI is really about using AI in the physical world, sensing, decision making on physical objects. Like this robot, the dog, can go into the plants, which can be very dangerous for people to look at oil spills and things like that, and integrate that into the back-end SAP system, right? And similarly, we have the Vision X solution, which is about safety in ports. This can be applied to a number of industries. So we already have at least 100 million coming from physical AI of the 600 million. We think it's again, it can build into $1 billion revenue for us, and we are fully working towards that. So
let me end then by asking you, CVK, you know, fears of obsolescence for the Indian IT services sector, the SaaSpocalypse, as I spoke about, overdone, exaggerated, and you believe that industry has enough ammunition to fight back?
I think it's overdone. I mean, a lot of things that I've read in the social media and all of that feels overdone. But we do recognize that this is a big disruption, and if you really go after it, there are so many new opportunities. So I think as an industry, we will get through this very successfully, and that's what I believe. And we have responsibility as leaders to really make this transition happen in a manner that it works for all stakeholders.
How comfortable you feel about HCL's position as you make this transition?
We are undisputedly ahead of everybody else. I mean, we recognized it much before, and we put our plans, and it's definitely showing up in the way we are growing. In spite of deflation, we continuing to be the fastest growing company. And I think with all the propositions that we have a very good shot at being a winner in this.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, CVK. Yeah. Always a pleasure. Many thanks for joining us here on CNBC-TV18 at the India AI Impact Summit. Well, you heard it from the man himself. They are fighting back. They're aware of the challenges, but they also want to focus on being able to leverage the opportunities. And that's the capability that HCLTech is building at this point in time. We will take a break here, but the conversations will continue. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment on CNBC-TV18 with plenty more.
Thanks so much for that, Shereen. An interesting